Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to a new topic. So, today we are going to be talking about percentages. And like how I usually start new topics, I would just provide you with just some background information on what we mean by percentages, what we use them for, and a lot of the content we'll get into in the next few videos. Now, percentages like decimals and fractions are just another way to represent a part of a whole, or sometimes more than a whole, which we saw from fractions. We got mixed numerals, things like that. But a percentage is another way to show some kind of portion. Now, the actual definition of a percentage is essentially a number. Well, let me do this actually in black. Is a number that represents a fraction of 100. So, what this essentially means is that percentages are a special type of fraction with the denominator of 100 because we are looking at a fraction of 100, some portion out of 100. Now, the reason I guess percentages came about as well as fractions and decimals is it's just a different way to visualize this idea of a portion of a whole. And the reason percentages can be a bit easier is because they're written a lot nicer. So if I were to write on my grid here, so I have a 10 by 10 grid composed of 100 little squares here. So I'm going to show a fraction out of 100. So let's say I were to show 20%. So 20% as a fraction of 100, we would have 20 of these shaded in out of 100. So writing this down, I can just write 20%. Now, in the same way, if I wanted to shade any different proportion, 75%, 75 out of 100, or 33, anything, it all comes down to, in terms of writing it as a percentage, it all comes down to this portion being a fraction out of 100. And we'll learn in the next few videos how we can convert between fractions, percentages, and decimals, because all these things effectively mean the same thing, but we use different ones for different means. So percentages like fractions and decimals came up as a way to represent some kind of portion. And whichever one we use, we can use all of them to show the same thing, but different ones serve different purposes. And we'll get into that more in the future videos. But for now, all we need to know is that a percentage is just a number that represents a fraction of 100. So all of these are represented as fractions of 100. So in the same way, I can write 20% is equal to 20 as a fraction of 100. I'll see you guys in the next video.